Okay, hi everyone. My name is Casey Glasser, and I'm the symposium editor here at ILR. Thank you all so much for being here. This will be the final panel of what has already been such a meaningful event, so thank you all for being here. We'll be ending with a discussion on legislative reforms that can be made to prevent gun violence. And we'll start with just an introduction of each of our speakers. If you could just say your names and either your organization or what brought you here today.
Absolutely. My name is Manuel Oliver, and I am the father of Joaquin Oliver. I lost my son in the Portland shooting 6 years ago. So we started, my wife and myself, we started a nonprofit called Change the Ref, and we create awareness and we fight together with all of you to prevent this from happening again.
Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. My name's Haley Lawrence. I'm a litigator at Gibson Dunn here in DC, but I do a lot of gun violence prevention work pro bono with Brady and Giffords and the like. I do some academic research on gun violence at the intersection of gender as well. And I'm also a scholarly writing professor here. So hi, students.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bryn Jones. I am a legal associate with March for Our Lives, where I primarily write amicus briefs that focus on the intersection between novel legal arguments about the Second Amendment and the right of young people to not be shot, mixed in with the stories of survivors of gun violence, which we then bring to the courts. I also have some experience in my home state of Tennessee, which I'll hopefully talk about later, doing organization work there after the Covenant shooting last year.
Well, thank you all so much again. So we're going to begin with Manuel, but he has a video that he'd like to share with us all. So if we could please play that, thank you.
I have the right to see my sister get married,
to get my driver's license,
to have a career, to water my plants,
to argue with my mom about everything,
the right to go camping,
to go on a road trip,
to learn the constellations,
to eat a really good pulled pork sandwich,
the right to have a terrible breakup,
to have a first kiss,
the right to fall in love,
to feel safe,
the right to see what I look like when I grow up,
the right to not be shot,
the right to not be shot
at a theater,
at school,
at a nightclub,
at a bowling alley. The right
to not be shot.
To not be shot.
To not be shot.
Be shot.
to not be shot,
to not have to mourn my friends,
to not be shot.
the right to a future that our son will never have.
On February 14th, 2018, our son Joaquin Oliver was shot at Parkland High School.
In his name, we're suing the United States government for putting gun rights over his right to live.
It's really phenomenal, and thank you for being here, and to Mrs. Oliver as well for joining us. So I'd like to ask you to first just tell us a bit about the lawsuit for survival that's mentioned there in the video.
Well, I'm going to try to, I don't handle all the lawyer slang and language that I've been hearing the whole morning, so I'm going to use a very human language here. And the best way to explain this is that we started trying to find solutions for this issue 6 years ago. My wife, Patricia, she's right here, and myself, and that included, between other things, going to DC, visiting politicians in their offices and begging them to do something about this, and then we were able to go to Senate and visit senators in office, and I don't know how many of you have been in the White House. We were in the White House. How many of you have been in the Oval Office? We were in the Oval Office in a one-on-one meeting with the President of the United States. And guess what? I'm telling all this because we ran out of entities. We actually went to everyone to try to find a solution for this. And the only option was, all right, so let's bring it outside. What if we address this from a new angle? By then, I heard of a guy called John Lowy, and I wanted to meet him because I know that he was working on the Mexico lawsuit. I said, oh man, this guy's badass. I need to know this guy. He might be the solution. And I like to think that he was also thinking, oh, I want to meet these guys. These guys are badass. So it happened. We met. We were together in a trip to Mexico, and we had dinner, and we ended up with this idea. I mean, John wanted us as a family to move on in a different direction, and that's how we created Joaquin versus the United States. And in this case, Joaquin represents every single victim of gun violence. When they asked me, oh, but it's been 6 years. It's not only been 6 years. It's been more than 270,000 victims since Joaquin was shot with an AR-15 4 times. So it's beyond Joaquin at this point. What happened to Joaquin is not an isolated, action. It's been happening every single day. Every day we celebrate a shooting, and we mention the victims. Like, I was checking my social media about the green room, and I can see how today we're talking about the shooting in X place a few years ago. So it's becoming a normal thing, and we don't like it. It's bad, and we're gonna we have to fix this.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing on this. It's, like you said, for your son and for so many others. I was wondering if you have thoughts on what changes to legislation, either at the federal level or in your home state of Florida, that you think would be effective in preventing gun violence.
Absolutely. So one thing that gun violence prevention groups have is that we tell them what to do. I mean, we're not asking them to fix a problem without giving the solution. I could answer that in a very specific way by telling you universal background check, a ban of assault weapons, a ban of high-capacity magazines, restrictions, regulations, permits, licensing. I was able to purchase an AR-15 without any background check using literally, it really happened. I went to a gun show in Florida. I live in Florida. And I was able to get into the gun show and use the gun show loophole. As a Florida resident, I was allowed to buy from another Florida resident his AR-15 without any background checks, ammunitions, and a magazine. So I was at some point armed to do whatever I wanted to do. Well, I made a sculpture with the weapon. But the thing is that they know. I mean, they know what the answer is. I think the action of us creating a big issue out of this is what we need to do. We're talking about these amazing lawsuits, but I wonder if anyone outside of this auditorium knows about those lawsuits. I don't think so. And when I go to a restaurant, whoever is having dinner with me, they know what I do and why we do it. But the people on the table next to our table, they have no idea. Right. So this needs to be a national issue. And I think the international community helps a lot because they do care. They don't have any restrictions. They don't have a plaque after it. They don't have a gun culture that has been chasing their minds and their, previous experience and cultural things that your family injects in you. Like, I was not raised in this country, okay? I'm from Venezuela, which is a very, very aggressive and it has a very high crime. But I've never heard of a kid legally purchasing an AR-15, going to a school and shooting randomly other kids.
Yeah, it's incomprehensible.
It's incomprehensible in any nation. So I like this approach, but I think that we need to put it out there we need a Greenpeace version for gun violence prevention. We need to be everywhere. We need those faces. We need the United Nations shouting this out. We need Geneva shouting this out. it's a big issue, and it's turning into that, because when I met John, people were starting talking about this. Today, I hear more people talking about this. And I think we're reaching that point where the international community has to get involved. I've been in Mexico twice already, and I see how they see an answer. And the most ironic thing here, and I'm going to finish with this, is that we needed to go all the way to Mexico to probably find a solution for gun violence in the United States. That's crazy, but smart, my friend. And I love that.
Brilliant. We have a few more minutes to speak with you. I know you have had some activist efforts that you've participated in. Would you be interested in sharing about that?
I love to. That I know how to do. Same way that I'm not a lawyer, I'm a disruptor, and that's coming actually directly from my son Joaquin. Of course, this was not the destiny that we were looking for. We came from Venezuela looking for a better future, safer future for Joaquin and his sister. That's what people do when they come to this country. And now Joaquin is dead, and his mother and myself, we are activists. That was not the plan at all. But we take any risk. Patricia told me the day after Joaquin was shot that the word fear was not anymore in our dictionary. So that said, we have been doing some crazy stuff, and crazier than others, and we have been arrested. I have been arrested. Patricia's the lucky one. They don't want to arrest Patricia. Might get in big trouble if they do that.
Don't mess with her. She's not afraid.
But we are known as the gun violence prevention group that actually has no limits. Like because sometimes you have to be extreme. I don't feel that I need to negotiate a deal that started by killing my son. How do you expect me to sit on a table and understand your rights over guns and you ignoring my right of having my kid next to me? That is simply not fair. So this is a reaction to something that is very hard to move on with, but we were able to do it. Patricia is a very powerful woman, and everybody loves her because of that and other things. And Joaquin, oh my God, Joaquin, he was already very concerned about gun violence. We had a lot of conversations, and I think he will be doing exactly what we do. There is no limits. We don't have any other plan. Me and Patricia, this is our retirement plan. It's going to be fighting against gun violence, along with, of course, March for Our Lives and any other group of young people that really know what they want. So we listen to them. We know that the new concerns of the youth are totally different than our concerns that I had when I was 17 years old. Climate change, like civil rights, gay rights, gun violence, and all those things will change because society will demand them to change. So I have hope in the next years that things will change, and I'm going to do everything that I can on my side to get Joaquin win that battle against the United States. I love the name, by the way, Joaquin versus the United States.
Yeah. It's powerful. Well, thank you so much. That was so beautiful to hear about everything that you and your wife have been doing.